Welcome, everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo. Appreciate it if you can hit that subscribe button for me. We're covering the WNBA playoffs, and boy, what a night for basketball. We had two games that went down to the final shot. You know, last night the Valkyries and the Minnesota Lynx went down to the last shot. Now we have two more games that went down to the last shot. And whew, the Fever get it done. They pull off the upset. You know, the main team that I cover, if you've watched my channel, is the Valkyries. And, you know, throughout the season, you know, as it started to shape up, I was like, oh boy, I want that 6 seed because Atlanta's vulnerable. And I thought this could be possible. I wasn't sure if it would happen, but I just what I see from Atlanta, you know, they won a bunch of games, but I just saw them as vulnerable and really wanted that for the Valkyries. And, you know, we lost to Seattle that second to last game, and that gave the Fever the 6 seed. And, you know, you got to hand it to the Fever, boy. They played well and just would not go away, and they hustled. And boy, how fitting was it for Lexi Hull to get that intercept that inbounds pass from Atlanta in the last seconds of the game. She has just been Miss Hustle all year long, and for her to come away with that steal at such a key moment was just terrific. It was terrific. I mean, just talk about rewarding somebody who hustles probably more than almost any other player. And just, I was really happy for her to see that. And, you know, and the Fever get the win. They get the win. Atlanta had a couple chances, but they couldn't get the ball inbound. Had to call like timeout and then call another timeout because they couldn't get the ball inbounds. And then when they went to, it got stolen. You'd think you'd have a better inbounds play. But, you know, sometimes defense is just better. And, you know, they crowded everybody and he stole the inbounds pass. And that gave Odyssey Sims a foul shot that gave them the little cushion they needed. Just a fantastic game. Fantastic game. So you had, you know, it was pretty even. I mean, Atlanta took a lead in the second quarter, but, you know, Indiana kept creeping back on that. And so first quarter, almost dead even, 29-27. Indiana's up. Then Atlanta comes out to a lead in that second quarter. They got a little bit of a cushion there and went up by 7 at halftime. They outscored the Fever 29-20. But, you know, the Fever kept chugging away, and they knocked that down to by 3 points in the third, so they were down 4 going into the fourth quarter. And then they outscored them 18-12 in the fourth quarter. Just, you know, just an incredible effort by the Fever. And, you know, they took care of the ball. They had 6 turnovers. Atlanta had 13. They got 15 points off those 13 turnovers, too. And Atlanta only got 2 off the 6 turnovers for the Fever. So the Fever get the win, 87-85, in a very exciting playoff game. I mean, I'm hoping the rest of the way, because this is what the finals were like last year between Minnesota and New York. And it was epic. It was just fantastic. And I'm hoping that, you know, this goes, the rest of the playoffs go just like this. This is wonderful. So, let's see here. Rebounds were pretty even. Atlanta out-rebounded Indiana by a few. Nothing to write home about. But Atlanta actually outshot the Fever 50% to 41. 3-point percentage, the both of them were not great. 27 to 26%. Free throw percentage was a difference. The Fever were 70% from the line, whereas the Atlanta was only 45%. Let's see here. Get some other stats. So looking at Atlanta for scoring-wise, you had 4 players in double figures. It was pretty evened out, which was that's good for Atlanta, because sometimes they get very skewed on how their scoring happens. Ryan Howard had 16 points. She hit a really key 3 later in the game that gave them a 5-point lead, but they couldn't hold it. She was 7 for 18, but she was only 2 for 8 from 3. 3 rebounds, 3 assists. She had 2 steals, 3 turnovers. Naz Hillman, she was 3 for 8 from the floor, 2 for 5 from 3. She had 10 rebounds. She's been doing a lot of the rebounding for the Atlanta, especially lately. She had 9 points. Brianna Jones had 12 points. She had 7 rebounds, 4 assists. She had a steal, 3 turnovers. She was 5 for 8. I thought she could have been a lot more aggressive when she got the ball, but her and Boston were really battling it out. They were going at it. And, they had to stop them at one point where, their arms got hooked and, foul. And then Boston ended up getting a technical because she threw her down afterwards. And, I'm just glad that it didn't get any worse than that. But they were knocking each other around the whole game. And, it probably prevented Brianna Jones from scoring more. Matter of fact, I'll say it did. So Alicia Gray, 19 points. She had 12 rebounds. She had 1 assist. She was 9 for 15. She shot well in this game. Alicia Gray had a very good game here. She had a block shot. She had 2 turnovers, 1 assist, and 12 rebounds. So good all-around game for Alicia Gray. But she had 5 fouls. Like, they were fouling. Hillman had 5 fouls. Jones had 4. Canada had 4. They were getting into some foul trouble there. So that's going to limit what you can do on defense. So Canada, a good game for her. She was 18 points. She had 10 assists. She was 8 for 14. But she was only 2 for 5 from the foul line, which that's unusual. I think she's a much better foul shooter than that. Usually point guards are pretty good foul shooters. Pow Pow, 6 points. She was 0 for 3 from 3. She was 3 for 7 overall. Brittany Griner only played 7 minutes. 5 points. She had 1 assist, 2 fouls. Boy, that is... I don't even know what to say about that. So Coffey and Caldwell got in the game, but neither of them scored. So that's that for Atlanta. The Fever had 5 players in double figures. So you had Lexi Hull. She was 3 for 7. She didn't shoot well from 3. She was 1 for 5. But like I said, she just hustles all around. And just her effort is and her defense is more of a value than whatever points she scores. If she scores, if she hits a few threes, that's a big benefit. So she had 10 points. She had 2 steals, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Tasha Howard, she shot pretty well, 6 for 12, 50%. She had 12 points. She had 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Aaliyah Boston, she was 6 for 11. And like I said, they were battling. She was only 2 for 6 from the foul line. But she had 14 points and 12 rebounds, so a double-double for her. She also had 6 assists and a steal. And then Kelsey Mitchell, 24 points. She was the leading scorer of the whole game. She was 7 for 7 from the foul line, 3 for 6 from three-point land, and 7 for 16 overall. So another nice game for Kelsey Mitchell. She's just been, steady Eddie for the most part. Kelsey's had a really good season. She should definitely be on the All-Star team. Odyssey Sims, good game for her. She didn't shoot as well, but she scored 16 points. She went to the foul line 7 times, made 5 of them. She had 8 assists, 2 rebounds. She had 3 steals. She was 5 for 15, which isn't terrific. But she was 1 for 4 from 3 points, so she got a 3-pointer there. And then you had Turner. She had hit a hoop. She had 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Ariel Powers hit a foul shot. Well, no, she didn't. She hit 2 shots. So 4 points for her. Timpson got in for 3 minutes. She hit a hoop. Let's see. Yeah, she was 1 for 3. So she had 2 points. And then Shea Petty, she was 1 for 6. She hit a 3-point shot, so she had 3 points. So that rounds it out. And you know what? Congratulations to the Fever. They've been having to fight through a number of things. I mean, other teams have had to do that too, but the number of people that they have had just go out and have to replace. The players that have come in to replace the injured players have, they've done such a good job that, Odyssey Sims has been, after losing Colson and Sophie Cunningham, having Odyssey Sims as a stable, point guard in there, that has been just such a good find for them. And it's working, I guess. So now the Aces ended up winning in the same manner. It was a 1-point game. I'm going to be covering that one next. And so the Fever are going to have to go up against the Aces, and we'll see how that one goes. It ought to be a barn burner, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. Looking forward to tomorrow's game with New York and Phoenix. And then I'll have to check when the next series starts. And they're best of 5. It won't be 3 games. It'll be best of 5. So I'm really interested to see the fatigue. By the time you get to the finals, this is more than, any of these players are used to playing. And, because they increased the season by 4 games, and now you've got extra games in the playoffs. And I remember what that 5th game in the finals looked like last year. I mean, both teams were just gassed, which is great because they've left it all on the court, and that's what you want. But it makes for, not the greatest game because they're both slogging through mud because they're exhausted. But anyway, just to get that far, they're just leaving it all on the court, and there's no better way to play. So, okay, that's it for this one, and we'll see you next time.